And welcome back to another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. Today we are joined by Jacinta Devlin. And for all our listeners in the UK and Ireland, no, she's not Irish. You'll be very shocked when you hear her accent. But we are talking the marketing mix. Welcome, Jacinta.
Hi, thanks so much. And well, no, I don't live in Ireland. My great-grandfather was Irish, so I feel like I get a little connection.
You get a pass with the name. That's okay. So marketing mix means a lot of things to a lot of different people. What does it mean to you, Jacinta, and why was it that you want to talk to people about the marketing
For
mix?
sure. I think when people hear the word marketing, it means so many things, right? And I think especially when we're talking about entrepreneurs and small business owners and people who are trying to figure out what exactly is marketing, how do I mix it into my business? I think that's really, the starting point of everyone just kind of goes, what is marketing? And I think the really simple answer, right? It's a way to get your message about your product or service out to potential customers or clients, right? A way to get your message about whatever it is that you're trying to sell or you want to get people involved in out to other people. So that way they can know about your great product or service. You can, of course, sell it and the world can continue to go round as it does because marketing sales truly are what makes the world go round.
I like
So
that.
when people talk about the marketing mix, is it across all different platforms, or are they just implying traditional or digital?
I think when people talk about the marketing mix, there's so many things involved in there, right? You have the digital landscape, which can be social media that can also tie in with your digital advertising. And there's so many pathways just with digital media, right? We have organic social media, you have paid ads, we have giveaways. There's so many things that can go in there. Then you have the more traditional route when you take a look at your marketing mix, right? Are you doing anything that is in person? Are you doing events? Are you doing direct mailers? And then we take a look at, we have, of course, our email nurturing sequences. Are you, continuing your marketing message? So I think when people say, the marketing mix, there's so many things that are in that pathway. And I think for small businesses and entrepreneurs, it's really about testing the different things and seeing what works for you and working for your business. And I think, again, when we're talking that marketing mix, the mix of all the things, it's one of those things where I always think of it as like if you've got a big basket or a pencil holder, you're going to grab one thing and try it out, see if it works. You're going to grab another thing, try it out, and see if it works. So I think it's really the mix of all of your marketing leveraging together, whether that's your social, whether it's your in-person, whether that's through, email, other digital. So I think it's all this whole mix together because I don't think there's one business that really survives on just one marketing medium. I think that the most successful businesses, the most successful entrepreneurs, they are trying out different things. They're failing, succeeding, see what works, and trying out different things from that bag, from that bucket.
So just a quick follow-up question. I know I beat you to it there, Esther. What is the difference between a marketing mix and a media plan?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think a marketing mix is more of your kind of strategy in terms of what are those marketing levers that you're going to pull? Are we going to do social? Is it going to be organic or is it going to be paid? Are we going to do, big in-person events? So I think those are different levels that you have, to choose from. And then when it comes to a media plan, that's where you really need to get into the nitty-gritty of, okay, are we buying media? Are we doing social organically? How many days are we doing it? How many posts per day? How many posts per week? So I think you start out with this overarching umbrella of, okay, I have all these marketing things that I could choose from in the mix. Let me try these ones that I think are best going to resonate with my audience. And I think that's an important step that a lot of people miss when it's, planning their marketing or if it's their media strategy. I think a lot of times people start to think of their business and their product of what do I like? Or what do I think people are going to like? Instead of taking a look at our actual potential customer and saying, what's that customer really going to like? How is my product or service going to be of value to their life? How is it going to solve a problem or be a solution for a pain point? So I think when we're talking about our marketing mix, these are different levers that you can pull in marketing. But your media plan, that's where your strategy is really fleshed out. Are we posting? Are we emailing? How many times per day? What is the goal of that content? Is it talking directly to that target customer? And so I think that's where, when people start to get involved with, okay, now I need to market for my business, that's where we start to get into the nitty gritty of the strategy. Okay, now we need a plan. And I think that's where the media plan comes in.
Thank you.
Okay. When people, so we have people who listen to us who are relatively new in business, and they're going to be listening going, okay, I have to mix all of those things together. I have to have my traditional and my in-person and my online and my, my website and everything. Like, what? How do we not let them get overwhelmed? What would be 3 things, or can be 1 or 2 if you want, but maximum 3 things that they should start and focus in on when they're thinking about the marketing mix that they need as a baseline?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I would go with 3 if you're just starting out and it's like, okay, I want to launch a business. I have an idea. I think one of the first things that people should focus on is their social media plan. For most small businesses, right, most entrepreneurs just starting out, you don't have a huge marketing budget. You might not have any marketing budget at all. And so social media is the first tool that I recommend to any small business, any entrepreneur, any of my clients, because it's free. And we can get a lot of pickup from something that we don't have to put a lot into, right? So social media planning, and I think when I say social media, a lot of small businesses say, okay, I'm just going to start planning on social media. Let me just start throwing some posts up there. But back to what, Melly and I were just talking about before, it's that media plan that you have to put in place first. So I would say first thing when you're looking at your marketing is we need to start to put together a media plan, right? And again, that plan is going to be based around who is our potential core customer, not just some trends that we see online, not just some things that we think are cool or something that we saw go viral, but what is the type of content that's actually going to connect with our potential customer or client. And so I think social media really is that first one, because what you need is a way to drive traffic. You can have a website, but it doesn't matter if you're not driving any traffic to it, right? And so social media is that free tool organically that I'm always suggesting first. The second is going to be email. A lot of people forget when they're first starting their business that your email list is pure gold. Having your customers, your potential customers, contact information, having their data, being able to segment them into, this is someone who maybe first purchased with me, or this is someone who's already said they want to purchase with me, or this is someone who has been purchasing with me for a long time, whatever it might be, right? Having that ownership of your customer data, knowing the customers who are buying from you, how frequently they're buying from you, that is so impactful in your business, because you can take that data and later on you can go and segment that. You can send certain types of clients certain emails, certain discount codes, right? So a lot of my clients, when they're first starting out, ask that same question. And then the third thing is going to be your website. I mean, of course, you need to be able to sell your products and services. You need to have somewhere that people can come and learn your information, learn about you and what you have to offer, or your business or your product. And it is one of the main things when, let's say, someone does find you on social media and they're interested, maybe you posted something that's piqued their interest. What's the next thing most people do? They go and search for your website. They click that link in bio.
Yeah.
Maybe they're even popping your business name into Google, right? And so first starting out, a lot of people get overwhelmed. Do I need to have, TikTok and Pinterest and an email and a LinkedIn and a Facebook and all of these things? First rule is you definitely need to start with social media. Now, what social media platform that you want to start with is kind of up to you. With my clients, I recommend let's just go in on all of them, because we're creating the content anyways. So why not get it out on as many platforms as possible? So you can create one reel that you're going to be able to post to your Instagram, you're going to be able to post on your Facebook, you're going to be able to post it on your TikTok, you're going to be able to post it on YouTube Shorts. Depending on your business, you're also going to be able to post that same video on LinkedIn, and you can use an easy scheduling app to help you do those. And so the idea is we're going to take that one piece of content and get that in front of as many people as possible. So I would say definitely the first 3 starting out is you need to have social media. And I say, put on as many as you can, because if you're creating one piece of content, it takes you 5 seconds to post it somewhere else. You want to make sure you have your email, so that way you've got control of your customer list and your data. And then you got to have that website, because that's what's going to take that traffic and ideally convert it into people who actually are going to buy your products or services.
Definitely. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, so my next question is, when it comes down to like the processes that people should explore when creating their sort of marketing mix, what kind of things do they need to look at? What sort of tools, what sort of methods of evaluation or analysis should they consider?
For sure. Well, I think when we're talking about analysis, I'm always going to go back to who is your core customer. I think that has got to be the basis of where you work off of for everything. Who is that ideal customer, that person that your product or service is really going to make a difference or a value or help them solve a problem? And I think that can be the mistake that most people make. They really think about, let me share all these benefits of my products and services. Let me tell people how great it is. And really, we need to come back to who is that core customer. And that's the first thing that we need to establish around. And what is it that they are going to get from our service or product? So I think we always have to start there. I think when we're talking about, okay, what's the mix that we need to have? Again, for somebody just starting out, I'm always going to recommend social media and email. And for email, a really easy thing that we need to have is some type of way to capture people, to get them to want to give us their information, right? So whether that's a freebie, whether that's a discount, whether that's a BOGO gift, whatever it might be, to get them onto that actual email list so we can continue to nurture them, right? And so, when we're starting out to make a plan, I would say starting your social media plan of at least one post a day is going to be kind of the sweet spot. When you're taking a look at your email, starting out, 3 emails a week. And I know a lot of times, especially when new business owners and new entrepreneurs hear those numbers, they're like, oh my God, I got to create a piece of content every single day. Now I got to send out an email 3 times a week. But I'm a huge believer in batching your content, everything for your business. So you sit down and you spend 2 hours working on your emails. We have the great, invention of AI in our lives now. So that can help you get a lot of kind of that grunt work done. Same thing with your social media. We're going to sit down and make a plan. We're going to research, what is our customer looking for? How can our product serve them or, solve their problem? And then I'm going to create content around that. And we're going to make a plan, okay, of, one day a month where we're going to take our ideas for these 30 pieces of content, and we're going to have a recording day or video day, whatever it might be, and get those done. And so getting started, a lot of people are nervous about being annoying, being pushy, they're scared that people are hearing from their business too much. Oh my God, I don't want to send 3 emails a week, or I don't want to post every day. What if people get turned off? That is not the case at all. What you are doing is setting yourself up for success to break through the noise, right? You think of some of the big brands, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, all of these big brands. We're getting emails from them daily, sometimes multiple a day. And do you get annoyed and turned off? No, you open up that email and you say, oh, you know what? That's right. I need toilet paper. There's a deal on that. And so it's this shift that I think a lot of entrepreneurs have to move from this kind of idea of, I'm just going to throw spaghetti at the wall, put stuff out here and there. I don't want to be annoying, and moving into the mindset of, I have something that's really going to help people, and I need to share this message, and I need to make a plan. I'm going to share this message. I'm going to talk about my business. I'm going to talk about my product every single day on social media. I'm going to send out 3 emails a week. And you can set up easy automation funnels to do that for you. So a lot of people think when they're first getting started, they're going to have to be sitting on social media every day for hours. We have so many amazing tools now that can help you to schedule all of that. And so I think really sitting down and making yourself a plan for your social media, making yourself a plan for your email marketing, those are the 2 biggest things that you can use that are free when you're first starting out as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, that can drive traffic to your website and help you actually sell your products or services.
Yeah. Philip, like, we're sitting nodding away. For those that aren't watching the video, we're just, yep, you're preaching to the choir, and let's hope that our audience are also nodding away, going, yes, yes, I understand. Yes, I know. Okay, so thinking then of businesses that have been in business for maybe 2 to 5 years, what do they add in to the marketing mix? Because we shouldn't be taking stuff away. You should always have social media, email, and your website are the basis of everything. So what should we add in then afterwards?
Perfect. Yeah. So if you're trying to scale, the easiest answer, and I think most people find that this answer is almost too simple, but I think it's the truth, it's volume. If you're ready to scale, you need to kick up the volume, right? So whether it's posting more, whether it's sending more emails, or stepping into, maybe you've been growing your business organically for 2-3 years, and now you're like, hey, I'm really ready to scale, and now it's time to take a look at paid ads. Now maybe it's time to take a look at, I really want to invest in my marketing budget. Maybe it's time to take a look at influencer marketing. Now that you're really established and you have great testimonials, you already have people who love your product, your service, love your brand. Now it's time to scale that. And so when we take a look at scaling with clients, it really is around the idea of volume. We need to take what we're already doing and we need to add more volume to that message. We need to get our, message out to more people. And so a lot of clients, when they're in that stage, it's optimizing what they're currently doing. It's increasing the volume of what they're currently doing. And then it's taking a look at that marketing mix. What are some of those other levers that we can pull? Some of them being ads, some of them being influencer marketing. Maybe you're going to start doing events or pop-ups or start taking your product or service into collaborations with other, brick and mortars. And so it's really taking a look at, okay, we've been doing this and it's working for us. So how can we pour gasoline on what's already working? And a lot of the time it's as simple as volume. We just need to crank up what's, working. If you're posting, let's say once a day, and you're averaging, let's say 5 sales a day from that. Okay, well, if we want to bump our numbers up to 10 or 15 sales a day, then we need to bring more eyes in. And how are we going to do that? We can either do that by pouring gasoline on the organic fire. Instead of posting once a day, we're going to start posting 3 times a day. Or we can take a look at keeping our organic where it is and pouring some fuel on that fire using ads. And a lot of times when people get into, the place where they're ready to start doing ads, they think they've got to do it all from scratch. We've got to recreate, we've got to build a whole new ad. Absolutely not. I want you to go take a look at your organic social posts and what is performed well. You can easily just turn that into an ad. And so those are just some little strategic things that we start to do at when you're in the place where you're, cooking and it's time to scale. It's really just about what are you doing right now, and let's maximize that, increase the volume on what's working really well, and then pulling some of those other levers now that we have some more money to invest and kind of test things out. Because just like when we're first getting started, there's nothing guaranteed, right? You could put lots of money into ads, but you might not get the return on investment that you're looking for right away with that. You might need to try different ads, see what resonates with your customer base, see what really works. And so I think when brands are at that 2 to 5 year mark, and a lot of times they've plateaued a little bit, they want to scale, we're not sure where to go. I think sometimes it's a really simple answer of you just need more volume. You need to put more gasoline on the fire and fuel what's already working.
Thank you. That was actually very thorough. Just as a sort of refined question, just sort of to bring it all together. With your expertise, I know it depends. It depends on how long you've been in business. It depends on whether your service or product but is there like a catch-all that you would recommend to our listeners that would give them at least a good start? And does marketing budget also feature in it as well?
What do you mean by a catch-all?
Well, you're saying that there's the top 3 that people should do is the the website and everything else, but our listeners, a lot of them are startups, or certainly in the first couple of years, and we would love for them to come away from today with a better knowledge of how they can optimize their time and their budget Now, obviously, the best thing is for them to speak to you, and we will give them your details at the very end. But is there kind of like a catch-all that you could give to our listeners that might help them benefit from today's talk?
Sure. I was going to say, if you want like a simple plan that you can put in place to take action on right now in your business, right? And you're like, okay, I'm listening to this. What can I immediately implement? I think step one would be your social media. I would make a simple plan of doing a post a day. And I think the part, again, that people miss in that is doing the research on your customer. So that's step one, getting really, really clear on who your ideal customer is and how your product or service is going to benefit them or solve a solution for them. Step two, go ahead and start researching the type of, it might be reels or carousel posts or, TikToks, whatever it might be that works for your niche, for your industry, for your particular customer. And I would work on doing a post a day. I would start with that plan. Again, with emails, I like to start with, 3 a week. If you're just getting started, you should have some type of automated workflow that takes people from whatever your lead generator is. So whether that's a freebie or you have a 10% discount code, whatever it is, and getting that email automation set up so that way once somebody joins your email, there's 4 or 5 or 6 emails that they're going to get over the next 3 or 4 weeks. So you can kind of take that part of it off your plate that just starts getting automated, right? And so I think those would be 2. And then as far as ads or using that paid goes, and I think Esther, you would ask too, like a dollar amount, because when you're first getting started, you don't have a $20,000 a month budget to pour into ads, but you can do a lot of good, honestly, with $5 a day on Instagram and on Facebook. If you're boosting posts, if you're doing targeted ads, you can do a lot with $5 a day, and a lot of people don't realize that. If your social media, if your content is really done well. Again, if you're just looking at something for your business and creating something in 5 seconds and throwing it up and be like, oh, I think this was trending, I hope it works, you're not going to get the same result. If you really are very intentional about your messaging through your social media and through your email, then that is going to resonate. And you can be really successful with $5 a day if you've got the messaging right on your content, if you've honed down on your audience. And these are all things that you can do, whether it's in, Instagram or Facebook. You can target your audience and you can say, I only want to show this to, women 25 to 44 or whatever it might be. But I would say step one is know your customer. Step 2 is plan a social media plan around that customer to be posting once a day. Step 3 is create an email nurturing sequence with 4 to 5 emails that are going to send every few days. So that way when someone signs up for your email list, they're getting nurtured over the next few weeks and you're not even having to do anything. And then if you're ready, if you're like, hey, I think I could spend, $300 to $500 a month, then once you start posting and you have those organic posts that do really well, only the ones that do well, those are the ones that we're going to then go ahead and put some money behind and turn into ads. I think that's a really good, simple system to get started. If you're like, I don't even know where to start, those are the notes that you could take down today. Step 1, know your customer. Step 2, create really good content around them that's going to post once per day. Step 3, create an email nurturing system so that when someone gets on your email, they're going to get touched by your business for the next 4 to 5 weeks and it can be hands off for you. And then step 4, if you're ready to invest some money into marketing, you could get started with $5 a day and only use those pieces of content that organically did really well for you. Because if they organically did really well, then if we put some money behind it and we show it to the right audience, then it's going to continue to do well. Don't put money behind every single piece of content. A lot of people
that would get expensive anyway.
A lot of people do that though. They're like, oh, you know what? I want to get more views on this. I want to do really well. I'm just going to put a boost or I'm going to put some ads on every single piece of content. And it's like, if a content
I don't think I could think of that.
Why would you want to waste your money? Only put your money on the ones that are doing well. And I think that's a really good kind of 4-step system that anybody who's just getting started in their business could say, okay, these are the things I'm going to go do and focus on.
Okay, so how would people find you? What would be the best way to reach you, Jacinta?
For sure. So we talked about the 3 things today. I have all of those, right? So my website is jacintadevlin.com. My Instagram is Jacinta Devlin. And of course, on my website and on my Instagram, you're able to email me, message me. You're able to sign up for a free 15-minute consult with me. And again, that's one of the things too for the small business owners that are listening. Keeping your branding consistent across all of your platforms, not changing your business name up or having the tagline on some things or not on other things. The more clear and simple you can make it for people, the easier it is that they're going to be able to find you, and the easier it's going to be able to build trust. If you have a different name for your business on Instagram than you have on Facebook, than you have on TikTok, then it leaves the consumer feeling a little weary about, can I trust this brand? Can I give my credit card or bank or debit card information over to them? So same thing for my business. Pretty much anywhere you go, if you look up jacintadevlin.com, you can find me and connect with me, and we can, talk about your business and what your goals are. And if you need help scaling or growing or just launching, that's something that my company and I help people do.
Thank you so much, Jacinta.
I highly recommend people go back and re-listen to this episode with a pen and paper, because there were so many great pieces of advice that you gave out today, Jacinta. And, especially one that stuck with me was the bulking. Like, just record all your videos in one day, write all your pieces of content in the one afternoon. Don't spread it out, because if you're like, oh, well, I have to write a post on a Wednesday comes around and something else comes up and paid client work comes in, that post gets, put to the sidelines. But schedule those times. Yes. Schedule those times so that it's done, and it's done for the week, and it's done for the month, and do that. But yes, go back and listen to everything that Jacinta said. Do reach out to her. Get your 15 minutes of free consultation with Jacinta. It's very kind of her to be giving away that time. And thank you again, Jacinta, for joining us today. And we just want to let our audience know that there are lots of people out there in the big bad world who are on your side, who've got your back, and who want to see you succeed, just like Jacinta does. So thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye. So, how many of those marketing mix are we actually using, Esther? Let's be honest.
Oh, loads. Well, okay, so I haven't sent an email in a while. But yeah. Yeah. It's in the schedule for every Monday for an email to be sent, but it doesn't get...
It's a reminder in the calendar.
Those numbers, right?
I know. Yeah, this is the kick that I need to be doing what I tell other people to do.
I think that's the hardest thing as entrepreneurs, for sure, is, and it's so easy for us to, like you said, especially when you're working from home, the kids need something, the dog or cat needs something, the laundry ding goes off, right? And so I think it's a big fight of willpower too, sometimes, to just do the things that you need to do in your business. And sometimes you have to let the other things be, and that's, how success happens. We got to put the pedal to the metal, for sure.